We live in a world constantly seeking perfection, from the clothes we wear to the cars we drive, the holidays we take, and most importantly, the way we look. From a very young age, we're conditioned to compare ourselves to the others around us, with the genetically blessed often celebrated and rewarded, while the rest of us are left to try and emulate their style and looks. Whilst this is nothing new, the arrival of social media has escalated this problem.
There's a new study out that's warning of the possible deadly consequences for teens using
Media has
social
been
media.
linked to a higher risk of connection to social media use. Researchers found that girls were twice as likely as boys to show depressive symptoms.
The problem many kids and young teens face today that wasn't around a decade ago.
Over half the world's population is connected online. That's more than 4.2 billion accounts spread over 10 different platforms, most of which exist to showcase a body beautiful, whether it is real or not.
Things like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, which are predominantly visual, it does create very much a comparison, and people, who are on social media sites do so in a way to present themselves in the best possible light. So what happens is you compare yourself unfavorably to the wide access of people you have, whether it's supermodels or, film stars or even people in your own peer group, but who will only choose to put information on social media which is presenting themselves in the best light. It doesn't actually represent day to day.
A recent survey of senior high school girls demonstrated that over 80% were aware that online images were fake, unrealistic, and unachievable. Yet over half said that they still felt the pressure to change themselves because of it. For many, this is a result of constant exposure to perceived perfection.
Before social media, your average person would have access to, say, billboards, big advertising, or magazines that you might pick up once a week and then put away and not look at again. But with social media, on average, I think the stats are that teenagers are on there for about 2 hours a day, every day. So that's a lot of exposure to glamorous images of very beautiful people and, positive aspects of life. And with that in mind, it's then a constant reminder of these comparisons. So it becomes much harder to then forget about it or detach from it.
I think social media is really a tough thing to work against when you're trying to not compare yourself to other people.
I don't post anything anymore because, even if it's like I think it looks good, someone has to say something about it, something negative.
I guess we do know that the 18 to 25-year-olds are now identified as being the loneliest group in society. And when you consider what social media was created to do, which is sort of increase connectedness and improve social connectivity with friends and with people further afield, I suppose you might argue that it's done the contrary, because the group that's using social media the most is the sort of 12 to 25-year-old group. So there's clearly something wrong with that.
And it's not just the psychological damage that experts are concerned about, it's the physical impact it's having on young social media addicts.
It creates a sort of reward in your brain. So there's an area in your brain called the amygdala, which is the reward center. And when you are on social media and you're looking at desirable images, it actually fires off in that reward system. So initially you feel good. It's similar to the experience you have when you're gambling. So there's an initial hit, but what happens after that is that the anxiety creeps in, and the more hits you have, then the worse the anxiety.
After scrolling through Instagram, I want to be skinnier.
After 20 minutes on Facebook, I just want to start a diet.
I just want my hair to look like the people I see online.
And it's that obsession to change that can have far more serious implications on society as a whole.
And early evidence would suggest that there is a link between social media and eating disorders. Then we cannot ignore the impact of social media on that, because the rate of eating disorders is rising. In mental health, anorexia, eating disorders have the greatest mortality of any illness whatsoever. So by that I mean more people die of anorexia than they will of any other psychiatric illness.
A lot of the standard is to be really skinny all the time and not eat certain things, and that's just not right, because you should be able to be comfortable in your own skin.
And even if you don't take it to the extreme, time on social media is still time away from the real world and what truly matters.
And unfortunately we have a society that values superficial attributes rather than anything more complex or deep. So there's absolutely no value in social media placed on people who are kind or good friends or supportive or loyal or intelligent. It's because it's image based, it's really all about appearance. And so in terms of what is perfection, I don't think that exists. Everybody is uniquely individual, and that's probably the beauty of everybody, is that there is only one of you.
And a word of advice for anyone falling into the trap of dwelling on their perceived inadequacies.
Stop using social media. So anybody who said they want to change themselves after using social media, to my mind would say, I've got to say stop using social media. It's clearly not helpful.
But we don't expect you to take our word for it. Just wait until it's posted on social media.